Hey guys, and welcome to LoveCast, the Boys Love podcast, where we talk about everything related to boys love. I'm your host Pixie, and with me are my co-hosts Alexa and Coco.
Hi,
Hi.
everyone.
No guests today.
It's just us three.
Originally, we planned to have a guest, but sadly it fell through, so it's just us today, but I think it will be just as good.
You gotta get used to it. We've gone 2 weeks in a row with bouncing off of other people. Now it's just us again. It'll still be good though.
Yep, I think so. We have very interesting topics to discuss today. So we'll get into that in just a bit. First, we have tea time. Woo!
Yay.
So we were discussing earlier on what gossip that had happened this week. Not a lot, but we did manage to scrounge some stuff up. First out is the director of Secret Admirer, went on Twitter and wrote that he didn't understand why people were upset that he is the one writing the script for Secret Admirer without help from the author.
He's a character.
Yeah.
This is coming off of him. Also, the other week, he tweeted about how he doesn't understand why people aren't supporting both series equally, and why the one that he wrote and directed alone isn't getting as much support as Secret Admirer. I just don't know what to say about him anymore.
Yeah, because he said that he thought it was because of the actors, because you have Earth and Art and stuff in Secret Admirer, and the actors in Call It What You Want are new. But if any community would be supportive of new actors, it would be the BL community.
Right.
Half the shows we're getting is new actors. So it's not that.
Yeah, why be upset? He should be happy that one of them at least is has a solid starting fan base based on the novel. And yeah, I'm sure some of the people who are excited from it come from being fans of people like Earth and being excited to see him be able to act in something new again. But I feel like that's nothing as the director of the series, and I guess apparently he's doing the writing now too. Shouldn't you be excited about that? Why are you comparing your own series to one another?
Yeah, and that he doesn't understand that we want the author to be involved in the screenwriting. I don't understand why he doesn't understand that. A lot of people are supporting Secret Admirer because they love the author. Jamie is the sweetest and just kindest woman out there, and she's such a great author. And now that I know that she hasn't had anything to say about how the script is written, that makes me scared because I trust her.
Yeah.
And he's kind of setting this all up. Okay, if it's a good script that he's written from someone else's story, he's going to get all the credit, even though the story is still Jamie's. So I kind of feel like it's unfair to take all her hard work and just change it without her having anything to say about it. And I saw a comment under his tweet that, yes, they understood that a writer can't write a script because it's so different from what they write. But I'm just no, it's okay, it's different to write a script from a book, but it's still writing. And I would rather trust a writer to know how to write a script than a director.
They should at least be involved in the process.
Yeah.
At least providing support or advice or something. To know that she's not involved in any capacity, not even as...
Yeah. No one knows the story as good as she does. It's her character, her world. And you need to... I don't know. It's just easy to screw up the whole integrity of the story if you don't have the author with you, because you're looking at it from your viewpoint and not the original author. And it's the original author that makes us excited about the story. It's why the story is getting a TV show.
Right. Like, they brought it to life and got it to the point that people wanted it to be seen as a series. So it doesn't make sense to not include them in the process of it becoming a series.
Yes. So I'm really frustrated that he doesn't give any value to the author. He's just brushing it off. Like, why can't he do it himself? It's not about that. It's not about him. It's about her and her life's work.
Like, you wouldn't expect her to be the director. So why
can he be the writer?
we expect you to be the writer? Yeah. Again, imagine how he would feel if if it was on the other show and she came in was just like, I'll direct this now. Like, it wouldn't feel good to him as a director.
No, I feel like the worst part of this is he's making it all about him, and it's not. It's about her. And he's taking everything that she made and making it about him.
He's trying to play the victim. Like,
yes.
Like, people wouldn't be attacking you if you didn't. I don't even know, not to say that people are attacking him, but...
No, because I haven't even seen anyone say anything bad to him.
Right, so it's like he kind of off the fly is just like, he makes it seem like people are attacking him and the way he words things.
Yeah.
But that's not the case.
Yeah, the reason why he said this at all was because of one of his followers asked him why the author wasn't part of it. It wasn't even like a... Yes, it was just a question, and he went on like all offensive about it.
Yeah.
All on the defense, and I'm just...
He's always ready to play the victim.
Yeah. And it's so wrong, and you see all the people under the tweet just like trying to calm him down and telling him how great he is, and just like, no, that's not the point. Like, this is not about him, it's about her. But he just effectively removed her from everything. And that sort of kills my interest for it. Because I was in it for her.
As I'm sure a lot of people trust her writing.
Yeah. I've read her books. I've talked to her. I've talked to her translator. And they are amazing people. And the writing is so amazing. Like, the English translator, Roni, she's like one of the best translator I've read. Like, she does such an amazing job at, like, because translating from Thai to English is really hard. Like, Thai is very, like, a poetic language, sort of. While English is very sterile, like it's
not
that's how it is, kind of thing. So it's a very hard thing to do, and she does it so well. And no, he's just like effectively just cut Jamie completely out of this, and I hate it.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate.
Yeah, okay. We'll move on. I could talk about this forever. Like, we could have a whole episode of me talking about this. Okay. Next thing, Lazy Subber had a poll on Facebook asking if people wanted a twin couple BL. Like, incest. Like, full-on incest. And the options... I can't remember it word by word, but the options were that, yes, they've been waiting for this. And number 2 was that they don't mind, they'll watch it, whatever. And the third one was like, no, it's immoral. Yeah. And the number of people who wanted that,
oh my God,
that's so disturbing. People need to go and just get therapy or something. Like, twin couples? Are you, like, oh.
Why?
Yeah, you can have a discussion about brothers, right? Blood brothers or not blood brothers or whatever. We're gonna have a discussion about this later. But
literal twins.
But twins? Like, that's...
I'm like, next it'll be, like, suggesting JJ and AJ to play it. Because everyone ships them. It's disgusting.
No.
Like, there's like certain people like ship them. Like, leave them alone. They're only babies, and you're shipping them together.
Someone asked them to do like kiss or something.
What?
Lord.
Yeah, I heard that.
God.
They had like a live stream or something, and some fans asked them to kiss.
Wow.
And they cut it off like completely right away. But still, that's
kids.
disgusting, people.
The poll that Lazy Subber did, they were kind of taken from, I guess there's a Thai like BL Stan Facebook group, and Lazy Subber originally saw it posted in there, and so they did a version of it to see like the international fans' opinions on it. But the votes in the original Thai one, the people who said that they were waiting for it was like much, much higher than the one that Lazy Subber herself did.
Yeah.
And she was like, it's just like one, she's like, it's just like an extreme subset of people within that group, and like it would never actually be able to happen there. But like the fact that people have those views and like want to see something like that.
Even though the international one didn't have as much number of people that wanted to see it, it's still a number.
It should have been zero. It should have been zero.
Yeah. Good.
Oh, people.
You can have a discussion if stuff like that is okay in like written form or in comics. That I think is a little bit different. Like, because then it's on fetishizing and fetishes and stuff like that, because it's written, and like we'll discuss this a little more later, but I think that's a completely different discussion than if you want it on screen. Yeah, but we'll discuss this a little later. I know, I'm gonna piss so many people off later.
Some people really want to say some twisted shit on like screen. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, is it not enough to just let it live in your head? Why do you need to watch it too?
Like,
yeah. We'll discuss this a little more later. Okay. Next news. Season 2 of My Engineer is happening. I know we didn't mention anything in Pert's episode, but it's confirmed. The lawsuit didn't shut them down, so it's happening. So everyone can breathe.
They're still, trying to write the script is that's the information that we have, but it's happening. Yeah. And that's all that matters. Yes. Still working on the script, but it's coming eventually.
Yeah. Like I said with Perth, like I don't mind them taking their time as long as they make something good. It's all good.
Yeah.
As long as I get more Perth, I'm there.
Exactly. It's what the people are here for now.
Yes.
The Perth stands.
Yeah, they could probably. Well, the problem is, like Perth said, that there's not enough Ram King material from the books to actually make it mostly about them. So they're gonna have to balance it out, but still.
It's okay.
I have faith in the writers.
It's good to know that they are taking their time with it and making sure it's something good and realistic and not just like rushing to make sure it gets done.
Yeah, same. That's just like with the Between Us, with the Prem and Bound. Like, it seems like they're taking their time to make it good too. I know that the author wasn't done writing the novel for Win and team.
Yeah.
Yep. So she finished that before they actually started on the script. And I think she's involved in the script process too. So
that's good.
So I think it's going to be good.
With Until We Meet Again, she was super involved with the filming process around that. So I'm glad that
that's the normal thing, right?
With this too. Yeah, you would think.
Yeah. Like with Mame and everything, she's been super involved in the script writing as well. Okay, yeah. So Prem said in an interview that the filming for Between Us will start in April and it's probably going to air around July. Like, okay, that's the current situation. We don't know if that's going to change. COVID. Yeah. Anything can happen now in COVID days. So the last bit of news, the main, there's some controversies about Star Image Artist Management. They're a Filipino agency. They have a show called Alter, and one of the main actors is 16. And people were reacting that the trailer had a lot of mature scenes in it.
Yeah.
So Okay, I've said it before, like 16 is like the sexual age here, so I don't really mind it that much. But I can see why people don't like it.
Yeah, I think it's very much as a cultural thing, and
Mm-hmm.
I think in Western countries, and not to say all of them, but like in where I come from, it's a little bit different, even than where you come from, Pixie. So like I
Mm-hmm.
think it definitely has a cultural element to it, but a lot
Yeah.
of people were enough so that they decided that they were going to remove those scenes from the actual series itself. So
Yeah.
they must have gotten even more backlash than I saw, because I mean I haven't really even
Mm-hmm.
seen people talking about the series period, but they must have gotten a lot of backlash from it because they decided
Yeah.
that they were just going to take it out of the final series airing whenever that
Yeah.
happens.
And that to me is even worse because you put this kid through making all of these scenes and now they're not going to be even shown. I'm
Right.
just, okay. I'm sorry, but that's a, okay. Well, they do
Seems like an
them. Whatever.
afterthought kind of
Yeah.
band-aid over it instead of actually fixing the issue.
Yeah. And like the icing on the cake, the original director was accused of sexual harassment and scamming. So they cut him out. So his name was Jody Garcia.
Yes.
So he's out of the project right now. And honestly, with all that stuff happening with Star Image, it's kind of shady. And it kind of, I'm keeping my eye on the company because if stuff like this is happening, like there's something going on with the company. It can't just be the
Yeah.
director.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
seems like it's in those cases it tends just to be like the person that they out is just like a scapegoat to kind of take on
Mm-hmm.
all of the problems when
Mm-hmm.
it's actually usually a lot deeper than that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I haven't watched any of the other series that have come out from that company, but you guys have said that they're not good. So
Yeah,
I don't know
I
if I'll
saw a
be.
couple of episodes of Amor, and it's just like the actors were good. I like the
Hmm.
actors. I just like the
Hmm.
quality of the whole thing was
Yeah.
so horrendous. Like it was so bad. I have no words. And the story was all messed up. It was really hard to keep up with what was happening. You kind of don't understand where they wanted to go with the story. So I just fell off.
I feel like that's becoming very common with the current BL boom. It's like
Mm-hmm.
the quality can be really hit and miss. I feel like so many companies are rushing just to get productions out that they're not taking
Mm-hmm.
time to make sure that they're actually worth watching, which is
Mm-hmm.
why I'm glad that series like My Engineer and Between Us are actually taking the time to make sure that the stories they're putting out are worth the fans watching and waiting for them.
Yeah. On that topic, I told Sunset about you. They are pushing out season 2 pretty fast,
Yeah,
honestly.
I was surprised about that. I know it did get delayed a little bit because of COVID, but it was
Mm-hmm.
originally supposed to air like in February or March, wasn't it? Like,
Mm,
even though season one just finished like a couple months
yeah.
ago. I guess I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was surprising. I was wondering if they filmed it all in one go, but then in that
Yeah.
case, I feel like they wouldn't have had to end up delaying it because of COVID. So
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised to see that they were pushing that out so fast. I thought it would be later this year. I mean, I guess now
Mm-hmm.
it might be, but
Yeah,
yeah, they really seem
because
to
of
rush
COVID,
that.
but yeah.
Miss COVID. She needs to stop.
I kind of felt like they decided to do the season 2 because of the success of the season 1.
Hmm.
So it was kind of like, okay, we need to rush out season 2 so we can get most out of this hype
Yeah.
we have right now. But that's
I think that they probably, I feel like it was maybe originally supposed to meant to be like a special or just like a mini series, since it was only 5 or 6 episodes, right? And then it did really well, so they were like, I guess we're making this a full series, and just wanted to get it out as soon as they could.
yeah, I still haven't forgiven them about the whole
I
money.
still haven't watched it yet, guys.
Yeah, me either. I wonder if they're going to charge the same.
You know what I did watch, guys?
What?
This is the real tea, is that I finally watched GSP.
Yeah.
We didn't get to talk about it last week because obviously Perth was here, but
yeah,
like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I finally pushed through and finished, not pushed through because it was really, really good, but I finally finished the last, I think I had watched episode 2, and so then I sat down and watched 3 through 8, and it was so good. It was so good. I don't know why I put it off for so long, but I just like flew through the last 5, 6 episodes. It was amazing.
Yeah, it's still my favorite show,
Yes.
like, ever.
It's so good.
I've been rewatching a lot of the scenes from it.
It just shows that the Philippines can actually produce good when they want to.
Yeah, like GSP and Game Boys are like on the top of my.
Yeah, I still need to watch Game Boys. I will one day.
You should. It's surprisingly emotional towards the end.
Yeah, that's what you said when Kayla was on.
Like, I think I heard around, I think I was on episode 4, and then someone said, like, I was behind already, and then I, like, in the saver, someone said, it's sad. I was like, okay, goodbye.
You're like, I will step back.
Yeah, until I find out if it's actually going to end good. But now that I know that, I think I've actually seen the ending, like a clip of it. So I just need to, like, watch the whole thing. But I will eventually.
You should. We know what we're talking about on this podcast, so just watch everything I tell you to watch.
Pixie's word is law.
Okay.
I know my stuff now. I'm fine. Okay, today we are gonna discuss, like we touched on this in Tea Time a little bit. I want to discuss like the whole non-con in books versus TV shows. Because I'm of the opinion that stuff you write is different from when it's on like a TV show and you see people do it. Like, because when you have a book, you have the written word. It's just your imagination that makes it real. So it's kind of like you can't get delusional about what you, or you can if you're delusional enough, but it's harder to be like, get this delusion that this is real, this is okay, if you're reading it in a book, because it's fantasy, like it's fiction.
Yeah, that's true.
On a TV show, when you see real people and you're really immersed into it, you kind of, it's harder to like separate what is reality and what is fiction. Right. So I'm talking about like, if you think about MAME and Tarntype as an example, like the books have a lot of non-con and a lot of, it goes a little too far even for me. So I haven't read it all, but I get it. There's like rapey sex. I'm just going to go right out here. Rapey sex in written form is a fetish, right? And people read about it and stuff because it is a fetish for them. And I think that if you're reading, then it's okay. Like, everyone has a fetish, and it's not hurting anyone by reading about it. But when you take it into a TV show and show it and just display it like it's a reality, then it crosses the line. So I think that even though I think it's okay to have questionable themes in books and like literature and even comics, it's not okay in TV shows.
For me,
that's my view.
I feel like it kind of has to do with the intention of the scene. Like, before we had Kayla on, she had actually done a YouTube video kind of on this topic, and I really liked how she had talked about it. A little promo there for Kayla because she's awesome.
She is.
But she talked a lot about like the intention of how the scenes are set. And she was mainly talking about TV shows, so I think this applies more to that. But she used a couple different examples. I can't remember. I know one of them was Tarntype and one of them was The Effect. And I think there was one other one but I can't remember what it was. But she talked a lot about how the scenes are framed and how that makes them come off differently. Like certain scenes, a lot of the times where there is forms of harassment or dubious consent, they kind of frame it as a joke with like lots of goofy music and sound effects and stuff to kind of make the audience laugh it off or imply that it's a romantic thing that's happening and we should be supporting it like this. Whereas in the effect, everything was framed from a standpoint where you knew what was happening was wrong, so much so that it was very hard for people to watch it because there was no way you could convince yourself that an okay thing
that's
was happening.
That's a romantic thing.
Yeah. So I think, and like I said, I think it's harder to apply that to books, but definitely when it comes to watching it in shows, I feel like I personally don't like to watch it at all, but I'm not against seeing it be produced if it's kind of framed in a way that's like, this is a bad thing, this is why you should not do this or romanticize it, and that's what they're trying to show with it. I personally don't read a lot of BL novels. Like I've read a couple here and there. Like I've read the Until We Meet Again one and some of the series that I really loved. So I feel like I can't speak as much to it because I'm not an avid reader of the novels. Something that Perth kind of mentioned when we talked to him a tiny bit about My Engineer is that like the author of that book when she wrote it was really young. And I think that's the case with a lot of these novels. Like a lot of them are written 10, 15 years ago, and writing was a lot different than things that were okay to be written.
The world was
a lot different. Yeah. So a lot of things were different than they are now. And so, I think that plays into a lot of the scenes that we see in novels as well. A lot of the times they're coming from young girls who are really only going off of their imagination. So I think that plays a lot into it too. So, I think it's hard to kind of translate that to modern times because I think we all view things a lot differently. Like me 10 years ago is very different than I am now. So I kind of try to take it with a grain of salt. Like I said, I don't personally like reading stuff like that or watching stuff like that, but like I can understand why it exists. And especially in the books, I can understand why it exists and why it might have been written that way. And when it comes to like the series, if they're framing it a certain way, like I touched on, I can understand where they're coming from. But yeah, I think it's really hard when a lot of series do kind of don't frame it that way. And then it feeds a lot more into that delusional mindset that you kind of touched on, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same as Alexa as well. Like, I prefer not to read and watch it, but if it's there and it's like it's a story and it's like the way it's set, like the effect was like traumatizing. It was awful. But like Torn Type, I think it's a bit like, I'm not saying like anything like that is easy to watch, but it's like it doesn't feel as like awful. I mean that probably doesn't sound.
They made it feel different.
Yeah, like it feels. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I like in Tharn Type for me, they did like when Tharn is touching Type and Type is not liking it at all. They made it kind of like whimsical and tried to make it funny by making like telling what the scene where Type's friend Techno Type's friend Techno talks to Tharn and just leaves Type drunk Type on the bed after Tharn kind of says that he's gonna molest his friend. Well, he implies it at least, and they kind of try to make a funny thing out of it. But how is that funny?
Yeah,
that's the kind of stuff that's hard for me to watch.
Yeah,
I think it's a lot of the times like the production's way of, I don't know, maybe they're trying to. I'm trying to think if I want to say this. I don't know if lessen the impact is the right word, but I feel like it's kind of their way of making it okay for television, if that makes sense. Kind of like if we make this jokier, then it's not as bad as it was in the books, or it's not as it doesn't seem as bad as what's actually happening. So it kind of, it's maybe their way of making it more okay to be broadcasted, but I don't like watching stuff when they frame it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, like, I wouldn't, like, my point here is that if I read about it in the book or stuff, I wouldn't react the same way as if I saw it on the screen, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with, like, having these fetishes and stuff, like, in books, because it's just a fantasy world.
Yeah, it doesn't seem as real.
Yeah, and you're not
Right.
forcing actors to portray it,
Right.
or
Yeah.
like making like 16 younger, like 10-year-old girls watching it on screen and thinking that's how sex is, right? So in a book, it's fine, but so that's why, like, I've seen so many, like, going on the whole cancel meme and cancel this and cancel that because of what they wrote in a book. But I'm just, let the book be. Like, the book is what it is. It's fiction. It's like,
it's not gonna change. That's my thing.
yeah.
Like, even if I like don't like it, I know that it's not gonna change. So to me, there's no point in being like, cancel this novel that was written 15 years ago or 10 years ago. Like, there's nothing you can do about it at that point. Like, I don't like it, so I won't read it. Like you said, like, you don't mind it, so you're okay with reading it. Like, that's as simple as it is for me. Like, read what you're okay with. And like, I 100% am one for more, like, I think all of these books and productions could stand to use more trigger warnings.
Yeah, that's true.
Because for some people, this is a very triggering topic, and they go into it not knowing that that's what they're going to see or read. So I think maybe that's something that could be helpful. But like, I don't think that there's any need to kind of try and police it to the level that some people do, if that, especially with the books, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and like, fetishes are always going to be there. So whatever they write, like on the books, you find, especially online these days, if you go on Wattpad or whatever place you read the books, there will be tags on that tell you what it's about, right? So if there is rape or whatever, it will be there in the tags, so you know. But like on screen, it's a completely different thing. So I think like the TV production industry, it needs to be more or better at adapting these novels onto the screen. They have like a responsibility to make the story, change it enough to make it reflect today's society. Because you can say that it's still a fantasy world on screen, but it's really not, because it's so easy to like compare it to daily life. Especially if it's just like a rom-com, right? Which, when it's not full out fantasy.
Right.
Yeah, I think they should be more careful of how they adapt things.
I agree with that. And especially, you know, in BL, when, like, we kind of already touched on things like shipping and what feeds into that, and how for some people they struggle to view the line between reality and not reality, like, as it is. You add other elements like that into it, and they associate it with the actors and that kind of stuff. It also feeds into, you know, affects the actors in a negative way in certain cases, for people who already struggle to separate their on-screen relationship and their in real life, like, friendship or working relationship or whatever they might have. Yeah, it's not an easy topic to discuss.
No, it's not. And one more thing, like we talked about earlier in Tea Time, like, people need to stop trying to put their fetishes on screen, like the whole twin couple thing. Like, I don't mind if you make book about it or even a comic, like, as long as you like mark that shit with like trigger warnings and like, this is incest or whatever, then that's fine. But don't put it on screen. It doesn't have, like, it shouldn't be in a TV show made for the general public. Like,
there's platforms that just shouldn't be reached with that kind of stuff.
Because no matter how you look at it, if you want incest in a BL, that is a fetish. You are fetishizing, and that's, like I'm saying, it's okay in written and comic and whatever. I think that's okay. But fetishizing like a TV show with real actors and real people with AJ and JJ, it's not okay. It's wrong. You need to keep that stuff in fiction.
Yeah. And I think that, you know, what we see with AJ and JJ is a great reflection of what can happen if people try and apply that to real life, because like those are literal brothers in real life, and people have gotten so lost in whatever world that they've seen in writing that they want to see that real life brothers. It's not even like they're just playing twins, like they are actual twins born from the same womb, and people are trying to push that on them. And like that's just one example of the consequences that can come when you're not careful with how, like, imagine if that wasn't a series, like that would only fuel people like that even more.
Yeah, like their parents. Like imagine if they saw that. Like, like fans are pushing our sons to like do, like, no. It's just not right. And if you wanna think about that thing, stuff like that, that's like you do you, but we don't want to say it.
Yeah. It has more consequences when you put it on screen, when you force people to act it out.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong with fetishes. Like, if that gets you off, go read about it. or go read a comic. It's okay. What you do on your free time is fine. Like, but there's a reason we have laws. Like, there's a reason why, like, blood relatives aren't allowed to marry or have children or stuff like that. And that's also the big reason why we can't, like, show that stuff on screen unless it's for a purpose. If it's for fetishizing romance, like making it look like romantic and cutesy and whatever, that's not okay. If it's there for a purpose to make it look bad, like it's not like a BL, it's not a romance, it's a fucked up show or a fucked up movie just showing how fucked up it is, then it's fine. Like, I remember, I love House, the TV show, and there's an episode there where a couple, they are actually married, and they discover that they have the same dad.
Oh no.
Because they have the same genetic disease. So they find out that later. And after they find out that they're siblings, the guy still wants to keep on the relationship because they've been so long together and they love each other, but the girl is just like, I can't do this anymore, right? So that shows how wrong it is, kind of.
Right. Like, it's framed
It's not romanticizing it.
Right.
It's not making it pretty. It's not making it cute. It's not making it okay. And if they do that, then it's fine. But it has no room in like a BL romance world.
Yeah,
if you need that, if you need those fetishes in your life, go read a book. Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts about stuff like this, and I think about stuff like this a lot, so yeah.
I mean, I think it's good to like discuss, because obviously we all have very different viewpoints. Like I know I tend to stray along the line of more of what people would consider PC culture. I'm putting that in quotes, but you guys can't see it. Like that tends to be where my viewpoints fall more along the line of, and that's just personally how I feel about things. And you know, that's okay, because we're all adults here, and I'm not going to be like shaming you guys for not feeling the same way as me, or for not like also subscribing to the same viewpoints I have, because you know,
we're different.
Understand each other. Yeah, and we understand that we're different. So like, I think that's why it's good to have discussions like this, especially when there's different viewpoints, because it actually creates a discussion around it, instead of you know, everyone who feels the same way just encouraging each other. Like, we can, like, when you started this, like the way you were talking about how you view things in writing versus on TV. Like, I had not thought about it that way before. So, like, it kind of made me
it
think in a
shifts
way
your
that I hadn't.
viewpoint, right?
Exactly. So, like, I think even though it's not easy to talk about, and it's definitely something that strays along the line of controversial, I think it's necessary, especially
it
in
needs to be said,
something like
right?
BL. Like, these discussions need to be had, I think.
Yeah, and I think it needs to be more common, more acceptable for people to change their minds. I mean, we change our minds every day about everything. Like, the more information you get on something, the more your mind should, like, evolve, and your thought process should change. So don't just sit down and just lock yourself up on one opinion because you're so, like, refusing to see anyone else's point of view.
Right.
Like, I remember when I joined the Discord server, I was a lot harder on the point of no non-con, no anything like controversial MBLs. But I listened to others' experiences and others' opinions, and I kind of became a little milder on it because I started seeing others' points of view, and like they were making points that I hadn't considered, and it made sense.
Yeah,
so
exactly. I think you just have to keep an open mind.
Yes.
To other people, like listening to other people and hearing what they have to say on things. At the end of the day, we all have our own individual mindsets, and I'm not trying to say like change how you think to think more like other people do, but like just consider what other people say about things, and like be willing to sit down and have a discussion, listen to discussions like this, and who knows what you might find or think about that you hadn't before.
Like, make up your own mind. Don't just follow someone else's. Like, get all the sides of something and just make up your own mind. That's the most important thing. And I don't mind if someone disagrees with me. I kind of welcome it because I want to hear someone else's view on something because it expands my own. So, like, anyone listening to this, like, if you have an opinion and if it's completely opposite of what we're saying, then come with it. Like, write it down, write it to us on Twitter or in the comment section or anywhere, and just let us discuss this because it's important to be talked about. We can't just sweep it under the rug and just pretend like it shouldn't, like, be a discussion.
Yeah, because like at the end of the day, like, it happens. Like, we see it, we've seen it in shows, we know it's probably going to happen in the future. I think we should be discussing it and discussing, and I mean, like, things like this, like discussions like this are how change enacts. So like either way, like if we don't want to see this in TV shows or on any topic really, like, you need to encourage discussion about it. It needs to be talked about in order for us to see a shift in things.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, we're at a lot of minutes. Should we go into the next segment?
I didn't feel like we were talking for that long, but I guess we were.
Yeah, right. We were.
Yeah.
Okay, what's shows that are going on right now, Alexa?
Okay, starting with currently airing. So I switched up the format a little bit, and I'm doing it by days of the week this time. So starting with Mondays, of course, we still have Manor of Death, which it's coming to an end, I guess, in a couple of weeks here. We'll be getting the final couple episodes soon, but we still have it for now. That's on WeTV on Mondays. So, of course, you get an episode early with the VIP with WeTV. So that's airing there. Also airing on Tuesdays is the Thai drama The Cupid Coach. Still, I have seen pretty much the same opinions about it, that people are not.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still haven't really seen anything positive about it, but I know a couple people who are like sticking through to the end to see what it ends up like. So there's still that going on. That's on live TV on Tuesdays, and I know they do provide international links with subs for English subs for the fans. Also on Tuesdays is the Vietnamese drama You're My Boy. That's on the DGTV YouTube channel. I have not seen a lot about this, but looking at some of the stats I've seen for it, the episodes are getting a lot of views. So it seems like it might be decent. Like I've seen like some of their views are averaging in the millions for their episodes.
Oh.
So I don't know, it might be worth giving a shot. I don't know anyone in our server, like our Discord server, that I've seen that's watching it, but it seems to be doing pretty well. So it might be worth checking out. And then that's Tuesdays, and that's on the DGTV YouTube channel, and it does have subs from what I've seen. And then we skip to Fridays, which is, of course, Tale of Thousand Stars, which is airing on GMMTV's YouTube. It looks like the subs are usually up pretty much right after the episode airs, if not while it's airing live, because GMMTV likes to do the premieres for each part. They're up like almost immediately afterwards, so GMMTV shows are always pretty accessible, which is nice. Brothers, the series just started. I don't know. That's a pretty controversial one for a couple of different reasons. I've seen one or two people have watched the first episode, but I haven't seen any opinions about it so far.
Okay.
So I guess we'll have to keep... I know the first episode just aired at the time of filming or recording this episode of the podcast, so I guess we'll have to listen out and see what people are saying. That's also online TV with English subs for international fans. Saturdays, this is what I totally forgot was happening. My Bromance 2, that's the one with Fluke, Natouch, and then the other Fluke from Sodus. So that's on Gaga Ooh La La, and it's paid, which is probably why I have not seen anyone talking about it. It's on their paid subscription program.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it didn't get like subtitles until very recently.
Yeah, I think they just picked it up under them, and it's still behind a paywall, so I don't think many international fans have had access to it.
Yeah.
Just scrolling some of like the reviews that I've seen, I haven't seen great things about the writing and editing, which is unfortunate because the cast, like Fluke is such an incredible actor. Like, and I know a lot of people liked the original. Was it originally a film or a series?
I think
that
it was a film.
Together. Yeah, that's what I thought too. I know a lot of people like the original film, so that's unfortunate to see that it seems like the sequel hasn't been holding up for people. But that's on Saturdays, and that's on the Gaga Ooh La La. So we'll see if they make it available for free down the line, maybe. Also on Sundays, at the time this airs, BXJ Forever will have started.
Okay.
That's Philippines, and from what I've seen, it's also moving to a paid service called Upstream. So I think the first season was just on YouTube, but they are now moving it to
milking it
service.
For everything they can.
So we'll see how they do with the views on that one. It doesn't seem like people are too happy about them now making it paid, which understandably so. So we'll see how that one does. And then there's another Vietnamese drama called See Him, which I mentioned last time.
Yeah.
And last time I said it seemed like it aired on really random days. I've since found out that they upload episodes on the 15th and the 30th of every month. So they only upload twice a month, and it's always on the 15th and the 30th, which is why it always ends up coming out on different days of the week.
Okay.
And that's also on YouTube. So that's what I have for currently airing. I know there's probably a few that slipped through the cracks, but I mostly picked up the ones that I've seen people actually talking about and have seen at least a couple people here and there watching it, and the ones that I could find information for on where to access them. So if there's any I missed, feel free to let me know and I can include them in the next episode.
I want to mention too, because it just stopped airing yesterday, to My Star.
Yeah.
The Korean one.
Yeah, I need to start that.
Coco! It's so good!
I've been watching fan videos on YouTube and I'm so excited to watch it.
God,
it looks really good.
Like, they took, like, it went from, like, sweet...
I saw that kiss.
Yes, it went from sweet kisses to, like, full on, let's go in bed. But it wasn't like untasteful like bed scene either.
No, it was cute.
It was very cute, and he's between his legs, and it's just. But it's in a, like, not in a hypersexual way. I'm not saying it's really cute, and it's just everyone needs to go watch this show. It's fully subbed on Wiki now, and it's from the same. I think it's the same director that did Where Your Eyes Linger.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. Like, it's definitely the next drama I'm gonna watch.
It's my 100% favorite from the Korean ones.
Okay, I'll definitely start then. I'm trusting you.
Yes, trust me. Everyone go watch it. But I heard that the movie is going to come out in a while. They haven't given us a date yet, but it might be worth it to wait it for the... Well, it has rewatch potential. Like, I don't mind rewatching it. So you can watch it now and then watch the movie later if they add scenes. Because it's so good, it's worth watching several times.
It's good to know.
Okay, I'll watch it.
Okay. I've fangirled. Oh, and We Best Love. It just finished. It's so good. God.
I just keep watching like fan videos again and again.
Oh my god, I seriously was crying by the end. And it's not because it's a sad ending, it's just like I'm sad that I have to wait a month until season 2 starts.
I put off watching the finale yesterday. I was like, I'm not ready to say goodbye to them yet, but I've seen a lot of like clips and everything, and I'll probably watch it tonight. Luckily, we only have to wait 30 days, isn't that long. Compared to what we've waited for sequels for some shows, we can do 30 days, guys.
Yeah,
we can do it.
True. But
it was so good. What
I want to say about We Best Love is, it's a super tropey show. Like, there's a lot of tropes. Like, a lot of tropes in that show. But they did it in such a good way.
Yeah, it never felt boring or annoying to watch at all.
No, and it didn't feel like something you've seen like 1,000 times. It's just, if you think about it, then it's just like very generic, tropey things. But it's done so well that it's just, you don't think about that at all. You just enjoy the story and the acting and everything.
Yeah, I agree. It's 100%.
Okay. I'm done fangirling. Okay, Coco.
Okay, there's not a lot coming up that is like, there's a lot like a Filipino, but like I don't know how much of that is gonna be watchable. Yeah. I think the next BL, like Thai BL, is Lovely Right Out, which I can't wait to start.
Did you guys see the official trailer? They released like the official trailer finally. Oh my god, I'm so excited for it.
I can't wait to see Cow like cheeky and smiley. It's gonna be so cute.
It's gonna be so different from how we see him.
This is what we need. Like,
we need Happy Cow. I want to see his smile on screen.
A live cow.
Please, a live cow.
Yes. Plot twist, it's all like theme or something. He's actually there.
Don't say it.
Sorry.
Don't say it.
No. It's all the writer's imagination. It actually didn't happen.
No.
I'm just kidding. I haven't read the book. Whatever.
And then there is the Korean one, You Make Me Dance, which looks really good.
It looks really
good. It is about a contemporary dancer, and then someone that is giving up dance, and I think they find themselves living together.
Oh,
which I like.
More cohabitation.
Yes, that's what we like. So that's kind of like, given what we've like seen from Korea so far, like it's gonna hopefully will be good.
Yeah, I feel like each one keeps getting better. Like Where Your Eyes Linger is really good, of course, and I know a lot of people like Mr. Heart what's the other one that was in between there? Oh, Wish You.
Mm-hmm.
But then I feel like Color Rush was like really unique, and so even though there's some open-endedness with the ending, I think it really had the unique factor going for it. And then To My Star was just really good. So I feel like they're proving themselves to be pretty good contenders so far.
We've been waiting a while for Korea.
Yeah,
for real.
But I do think that they're gonna pretty fast get up to like a normal K-drama length because they're doing pretty well.
Let's be real. They see the money in it, and they're gonna start putting money into the production because that's how things work in Korea. Like,
so everyone watch from official links so this can happen faster. Numbers matter.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, but can I just say, like, why are they making a second season of Ben and Jim and making people pay for it?
Yeah, they're...
What gave them... Why?
The idea. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Like,
I don't know.
You give her the first season for free. Yeah, great. Give her a good season for free first before you start making her pay for one. I will not be spending money on that. No, thank you.
That just goes to show that's why views matter. Like the first season, like maybe it wasn't good, but they got some views on their official links. So you know, if you
just watch
stuff
for
you actually want.
Yeah, exactly. People let's watch the Korean ones from
official links, please, guys.
And we'll get more from it instead of the bad ones.
Yes. Do it.
I mean, it could be bad. It could be worse. It could get like boy band season 2, which we definitely do not need.
No, definitely not. Oh, yeah. Official links, guys. Official links. If you don't know where the official links are, then just follow people that do. Like, there's plenty of people on Twitter, or there's Discord servers. There's Instagram accounts. You can find people everywhere that knows where to watch things. And if you're not on social media, then just listen to us. We know.
Pixie knows best. Listen to
I
Pixie.
know everything. Like, we should, on our Patreon, we should start like doing like a schedule and release it on the Patreon.
It's not sure a bad idea.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
But it'll only be the shows that we deem worth watching.
Yes. We can like give them stars or something out of how we like them. But if you want to keep up and have nowhere else to keep up with like official links and what's going on and stuff, then go to our Patreon. We'll help.
Yeah. Just ask us. We got you.
Yeah. And we might even do like reviews of series in the future and post it to the Patreon exclusively.
We've got lots of plans for there, guys. So look forward to it. And if you are interested in supporting us, that's the best way to do so right now. So we're kind of focusing because we don't want to take without giving back. So we're doing everything we can to like give back if someone supports us. So if anyone have any requests or something like they would like to have from us, then just give us the suggestion and we'll look into it. So the link to the Patreon will be in the description, so check it out. There's lots of rewards and like the merch tier. You get like stickers and posters with art from Coco, which is the best thing about it. It is so good. I just tried my best. Yeah, you're so good.
Thank you.
And subscribe to the channel for more episodes. We do this every week. And if you're on the Patreon, you will get the episode one day early. We do premieres where we join in the chat when we do it on YouTube. So come join us for that. That's really fun.
Although Coco's never there because she's always at work.
Coco drops by sometimes. Well, I set like the premiere for the time that fits me the best. So both Coco and Alexa has to like really do it like in work time or earlier morning, whatever.
It's the benefits of having a desk job, or I can like get away with listening / watching YouTube at work. So I mean, no one told my bosses that, but I can usually make it to the premieres.
That's good. Well, like the video, guys, and like we said earlier, if you have any opinions on this whole issue with non-con in TV series versus fiction and all that, just leave us a comment and we'll read everything. We'd really love to hear everyone's opinion on it. It's really interesting.
Yes, discuss with us, please.
Yes.
So that's it for today.
Yay.
Yep.
We will see you guys again next week.
Bye.
Bye.